Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
The Rock and Review is honored to have back on singer, songwriter, producer, author, you name it. He's done it all. He is the king of country swing. Ray Benson, thanks for coming on the Rock and Review.
Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, you got to watch out for that king title because old George Strait is right down the road here.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Ray, you know, it's been a while since we had you in studio here. And, 50th anniversary of Asleep at the Wheel. And you guys have a brand new EP out, which I was just listening to before we stepped in to do the interview, Better Times. And I think it's so great to hear new music from you guys. And Better Times, when you're singing it, it's so heartfelt.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the song for the folks who haven't heard it is said, "We'll meet again in better times." And the video is, I think the video is on YouTube probably by now. I think we just finished it last week. And it's what went on. And so I wrote about it. That's what songwriters do. You write about what's going on in your life or in your head. And then I got these two gals, well, Katie, who's in my band, and this other gal, Jenny, to play on it. And I wanted to evoke what it was like at the end of World War II when people said, you know, hey, the war's over. We're now ready to go and meet with everybody again. And I said, that's where we're at right now. We're at a war with a virus, and we're coming out at the end, and hopefully we'll get together again, which we are.
Thank goodness. Well, did you have any idea, Ray, that when you started this band back in 1970 in Paw Paw, West Virginia, and I just like to say Paw Paw, and then you guys ended up moving to Austin 50 years later, you would still be making incredible music?
Yeah, no, you don't look that far ahead when you're 20 years old, you know, and so and I think it's also a good way to live life is one day at a time. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you can get through the first day and then count the second day, well, by golly, it's one foot in front of the other. And that's what it's been for Asleep at the Wheel, because there were times when disco hit, for instance, Asleep at the Wheel was not in favor in 1980, 81. And then, you know, you go in and out of trends, the urban cowboy trend, this kind of trend, that, the other. And so if you can survive through all them, then you get to last as long as we have.
Well, you know, and I think what's amazing too, Ray, and a testament to you as an artist is that you have had over 80 members in Asleep at the Wheel, and you are the constant. And it's like, and I remember some of your big videos. Obviously, you've had 20 hits on the charts throughout the years, but you've just kept this thing going and kept this incredible music alive, which I think needs to be heard as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the deal. You know, I drew inspiration from Jerry Lee Lewis, because old Jerry Lee had no hits from after the Great Balls of Fire and the rock and roll, and he started singing country music, which he always was, but let's, you know, about that. But they said, where you been for the last, you know, then you had the country western career, you know, where you had those She Woke Me Up to Say Goodbye and all that. And they said, where you been? He said, I've been on the road 200 days a year playing clubs every night and concerts when I can. And I said, that's what we do. If you're a working musician, hopefully that's what you do.
Well, you know, and that's what Asleep at the Wheel has always been known for, are their incredible live shows. And I found it interesting, getting ready for the show, that I didn't know this tidbit, that when you guys hit Austin, Willie Nelson was the one who convinced you to make Austin Asleep at the Wheel and your home. And now you've become an institution there. 10 Grammys, all of these awards. You keep having awards thrown at you. You know, I mean, I thought it was neat that Willie was the one that suggested, hey, why don't you stay here?
Well, yeah, and he also said, and you can open my shows for $100.
Well, you know, I mean, what a greater way to get your, you know, name out into the public than open it up for Willie Nelson. And, you know, I want to bring this up, you know, some of our viewers for the show, Ray, may not realize that you were a self-taught guitarist at 9, and then you started playing with the family band, the 4 Gs with your family, you know, and you know, playing folk music at a very young age.
Yeah, and we played with the Philadelphia Orchestra when I was 10. We sang "This Land Is Your Land," "This Land Is My Land," and "On Top of Old Smoky." And you know, we've sang "Long Black Veil." We sang "Puff the Magic Dragon." we did all the songs, and it just something. My mom and dad were professionals, and it was like, oh no, this is just a hobby. And then I got in a square dance band, and that's where I learned to play country music, or fiddle music, really, and got a good grounding in that. And but I also played in the swing band with the concert band. I played bass fiddle. I played tuba in the march. I wanted to play music,
right.
And the school that I went to had a great music program, and so I learned the tuba and the bass fiddle, and they came in handy. My tuba teacher said, "Are you interested in this?" I said, "I've never had a date with anybody because of my tuba playing, but the guitar seems to interest Earl, so I think I'll stick with the guitar."
Well, I tell you what, I think this music career thing could work out for you. I've got to bring this up. Coming right at you, your book that came out in 2015, which did very well. And I tell you what, handsome guy on here with some very nice boots also, Ray.
Yeah, that was my first pair of custom-made $200 back in 1973. I paid with a hot check to Nudie, the great the tailor in Los Angeles, and ran back to California, to Oakland, and covered the check. And yeah, those are good days. That was a picture taken in 1974, and that's about, that's 60 pounds lighter.
Well, I mean, but also you got a fuller beard now too. You got to add that, right?
Yeah, I was going through puberty back then. I was only 12.
Well, I was telling you, Ray, before we started the interview, I think you're going to have to update the book. I know this thing has sold great and is still available on Amazon and everywhere, but it's 6 years now.
Yeah, I'll get to it. We're working on this new album for the fall of the reunion of the original band and 30 or 40 of the folks who have been through it. So, well, you mentioned the 80 people, some Nashvillians. Larry Franklin was with me for years. We just sent the files up for him to put stuff on. We sent it to Rome, to our steel guitar player who lives in Rome, Italy, and can't get back here because of the pandemic. We sent it to Lucky, who started the band in Perth, Australia, and he put a steel guitar on. Chris is in Berkeley, California. She sang. And Leroy is in Vermont, and he sang. And then we had, of course, the folks down here. Tony came and played bass. He's with Bob Dylan usually, but Bob's not touring, so we grabbed Tony down here. And it's just been a Cindy Cashdollar up in Woodstock, New York, put some parts on. And it's been an incredible experience in getting back together virtually with the old band.
And I got to make sure too, for our viewers, where's the best place to go? Obviously, Better Times, the EP is out now. You got more great projects back on the road. Where should our viewers go, Ray?
Well, you can always go to the asleepatthewheel.com and website, and they'll point you to our Facebook. And Facebook is very active, the Asleep at the Wheel Facebook and the Ray Benson Facebook. There's pictures always being posted on Instagram and Twitter. I don't spend a lot of time answering folks on Twitter or anything, but we do keep running whatever goes on in our lives. We make sure it's available online to those who care for to find out, and it's a good way. It used to be we had a fan club to send out mailings and this, that, and the other, and I still remember the internet was pretty well established, and people would get on Facebook and say, "How do I find out where you're going to be?" And I said, "Have you heard of the internet?" And they're on the internet. To type in "Asleep at the Wheel," I bet you it'll say something about us.
Yeah. There's a tall guy with a nudie suit and a great beard on there. Just look for that, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. My image could change overnight. Like I said, I'm getting a lot of blowback on this beard, and so there's, right now I'm looking for a charity that will give the money to shave the sucker.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ray Benson, it's always a thrill to have you on the show. Congrats on the new EP, Better Times, which is out now. Everybody needs to go out and download and buy, and also catch you guys on the road. Once again, Coming Right At You is still available, so get it now. There may be an update, more great things happening with Asleep at the Wheel this year. Ray Benson, thank you so much for joining the Rock Interview.
Always a great show. Thank you for keeping alive the Eric and all the guitar-centric world that you and I know so well.
Thanks, Ray.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.